Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to talk about breakups and why they are so challenging to navigate sometimes, and also put a little bit of a spin on it. Now, when you are married or in a partnership, etc., long-term relationship, or you have a friendship that is slowly fizzling out, and one or the other decides that they are going to part ways, normally because you're around maybe the same age or you've had similar life experiences or you were raised in families that maybe you were close to or not, and you've had the same kind of experiences. That in and of itself, maybe you can mutually agree that it's reached the end of the road, and maybe one will struggle and the other one, you just it's a little bit of a challenge, but you realize that that's just the way it is and you can get up and go. But I want to talk about the breakup between a child and a parent, a son and his mom, or a daughter and her father. You have two people of very different ages, very different life experiences, very different exposures, very different worldviews, very different everything. And I think why parents have such a challenging time wrapping their head around the disconnect is because we feel if they were just a little more hard boiled, things may go in a different direction. If I'm with my spouse and have we are around the same age and we just can't get it together when it comes to finances because maybe they were raised with a lot of money and maybe I wasn't. So our idea about bills and etc. are just completely different. We can say, you know what, we're older, we understand, let's, we're going to be better suited with other people. But when you have a child who's basing their choice to break up on such limited experience, and they say, well, my mom or dad did this, but they've never lived with anyone else. They've never had a different parent that has overseen them. They have barely graduated high school. Maybe they're in college and maybe they've gotten married, but they don't have children. They're basing their decision on a barely post-teen life world. That's why it's so hard for parents to wrap their head around, because if we think, well, if they had been raised by someone else or wait until they get out into this world and have their own children, then maybe they'll understand the ramifications of their choices. So, as a parent, I'm letting you know it is almost impossible to reason with someone who feels they are correct, who will use any means to justify their behavior. And they won't say, well, it's because XYZ. It's always going to be because of so and so. It's because of my mom, because of my dad, because of my brother, because of my grandpa, my teacher, etc. It's why I have to cut ties. So, as a daughter who did disconnect from her mom, I made the decision to do so. And I'm not saying either my mom or I were perfect in this situation. Excuse me. But I just want to say I take full responsibility for disconnecting. I made the decision. I can blame my parents, but we're all human, so no one is asked to be perfect. So there is no reasoning with someone who has very little life experience. And that's just the way it is. So I hope this helps to put a spin on it. I'm not justifying their behavior. I'm just hoping to get people to understand that sometimes begging and pleading will not work regardless. So, anyways, that's all I've got, and I will be back.